It's a very cool concept. Imagine you're in your home. You know, what is supposed to be your sanctuary, you know, your safe spot. And even in your own home, you can't get out. It's all kind of new places that you never saw before. And all those places look scary because it's all dark and there's faces hiding behind there and you don't know what's going on. Now that's as an adult. Now imagine you're a kid where the world is already scary because it's so big, it's scared of their own house. You know, but imagine being a toddler waking up in the middle of the night and walking around and seeing things that you never recognized and there's voices talking about, hey man, come here. You know, that's that's terrifying. And the concept, the thought of this it's very frightening. Now, I've been announcing it, but I'm gonna announce it again, that we have sold out all of our highest tier tickets. It has been a very good, well, I'll say months. Let's not say year because we left the year that we're just in. So it's been a very good few months, a lot of months of some good horror. You know, it's a time they were just doing reboots and just putting childish things out there and just putting bloody stuff out there just for all the gore hounds, you know, real basic horror. Now we're getting some really smart horror, character-driven horror. And now somebody said, well, I think you're ready for some experimental horror now. Horror, you know, you like that shit? We're going to take you to a whole new heightened level of horror. Oh. Yes. So heightened, you might not even be horrified. Because you might not even know what the hell is going on.
Oh, it's like that, huh?
You might. Now that's the way the saying that only the smart people will understand this.
If you don't like it, it's because you didn't get it.
Yeah, your dumb ass just not ready for it. You know, it's a little too out of league for you. You know, go back and watch all that other childish stuff. But this is for the people who, you know, that are intelligent, the people who have some culture, the people who appreciate art, the people who are ready for something a little bit different. And people, and I'm not, it sounds like I'm joking, but I'm not. This is different. I mean, everything I'm saying is what's happening in this movie that I'm about to tell you about. People are ready for something that breaks the boundaries of horror. You know, if you're scared of things like walls, ceilings.
All right, I'm a little claustrophobic.
Okay. Carpet.
Okay, germs can hide in the carpet.
Chairs. Bugs. Yeah, you know, if you scared corners, you know, if you just simple angles in the house terrify you, then you, my friend, are ready for SKINAMARINK.
In this house. In this house.
You're like, yes, in this house, yes. What about this house?
In this house.
If you say that one more goddamn time. Now look.
He's trying to get his thoughts together. This house.
Let me get this straight. In this house right here. Yes, I get that. What about it? If you are scared of home construction
and a doll just left by itself,
if you were scared of if drywall terrifies you,
I'm having nightmares after this.
If floor lining or ceiling lining terrifies you, boy, don't go in this house.
Don't say that.
If not paying your electric bills horrifies you. In this house. I mean, some people are saying this is terrifying. They're like, my house looks like this right now. Our electricity went off.
The store knocked out our electricity.
Yeah, that's about the scariest thing about this. I see a tree hit that line too. This house. So
come upstairs. No, that's all right.
You come downstairs. How about that? So So this movie, you know, I think the best way to probably to describe this film. First, let me tell you about it. So this happens in a house that's already kind of dark. It looks like it's probably a little. It's bedtime for two toddlers in this house. One of them I know is named Kevin, and by the looks of the little feet walking around, look like he has a brother. So, or maybe a sister, but. There's a point where Kevin goes to bed and they say Kevin got out of bed and hit his head or something. And then after that, Kevin just starts wandering around the house and the house just takes on an ominous new look. Like doors disappear and start popping up. Furniture is in odd places where it doesn't belong. Voices are in the distance are crying out, or, you know, making strange requests. And sometimes there's just dark hallways and dark doorways where you can't really tell if you're looking at something or you're not. You don't really understand where it is. It looks like this house is just turned into some other dimension where just new corridors and hallways and dark doorways are just popping up out of nowhere. The best way to really describe this is, let me see if I can find something here to show you what I'm talking about. So the best way to really describe this, so this whole movie, it's 1 hour and 40 minutes. And this whole movie looks like shots that you would get when you put the camera down and forgot it's still recording. You know, when you put a camera down, it's getting shots of like the floor, or you lay down the side, it's getting shots of the ceiling. Or it's getting, you don't know it's still filming, you just getting empty doorways. 1 hour and 40 minutes of that. It looks like you started recording with your cell phone and forgot to stop, and you just put it down and just recording the ceiling, because it's just nothing but it's never really eye level. It's nothing but ceiling, floors. Maybe you'll get a shot eye level, but it's just going down a dark ass hallway. But mostly, and I'm not lying when I say it's 1 hour and 40 minutes of just filming corners, not a wall, but the corner. There's so many corner shots of the wall, of the roof, of the ceiling, and they put it on there. And I swear to God, they put the camera down and went to the bathroom and made a sandwich and came back and decided to make a movie out of that. You see what I'm saying? It looks like somebody put the camera down, forgot it was recorded, and then went to go make a phone call.
Right. On an old touch-tone phone.
Yeah.
So he's fine.
Yeah, it looked like somebody calling this girl. Hey, girl, what you doing? Oh shit, my camera's still on.
What is he actually saying?
Pete,
Pete, you saw the movie?
You don't mean I'm going on? I saw the movie. I didn't make the goddamn movie.
Okay, all right.
Now, the thing is with this is that people, I didn't freeze this. All right. If you look closely, you still see flickering. You'll still see. You still see little like little hairs on the screen. It's still going. By the way, I did not pause that. That shot. They meant to do that. They put it on the corner of the ceiling. Put that camera down and said, "That's the movie right there." It's still going.
But Kevin fell down the stairs and hit his head.
People, they linger on that shit. That's 1 hour and 40 minutes of that. I'm not lying. Now, every now and then, you know, to break up the monotony, because even they know, they're like, God damn, we got to break this up with something. Every now and then, a door will pop up. Every now and then, a piece of furniture would just kind of pop in and pop out, you know, just to kind of, you know, throw you off a little bit.
Make sure you're paying attention.
Yeah, it's almost like they know you're getting bored. So they throw a little something in to make you think. Did I see what I just think I saw? So if toilets popping in and popping out scare the shit out of you, this is your movie. I don't know about you, but disappearing toilets don't really scare me. I mean, it's a little crazy, but that's nothing for me. That's not the thing that nightmares are made out of.
Well, it's a nightmare if it does that while you're taking a shit.
Yeah. Even then, it's just kind of like, it's more of an inconvenience. It's not terrifying. I mean, it's embarrassing. You got shit all over the floor. You ain't got nothing to wipe your ass with. It's very inconvenient. Terrifying? I don't know. Now, other times, they just kind of break up things. They'll just put it on a TV and you're watching cartoons. And you ain't even watching nothing cool. You ain't like watching Batman or He-Man or nothing like that. They got those old public domain cartoons that we've all seen 100 times before. And they just, and here's the frustrating thing about it is, if you're going to make me watch cartoons, let me see the whole screen. They even put it at an angle where I can't even watch the whole screen right there. And I'm talking about they'll go a long time playing these cartoons. And if they're not playing it on the screen, then you can hear the cartoon playing in the background while you guys are staring at a wall. So if moving furniture, and I'm not saying moving furniture by itself, I'm talking about like pushing trunks across the floor, moving luggage across the floor. If you watching people move furniture around, again, scares you, then this is your movie right here. And moving in can be kind of terrifying sometimes.
When somebody calls you to ask you to help them move. That's terrifying.
Now, it's almost like it can be argued that they are doing this on purpose. Is what they call a slow burn. They're doing this just to kind of get you I guess, comfortable in a way, like making you think like, all right, I'm looking at nothing that's too unusual right here. I'm just staring at walls. So, you kind of let your guard down. Even being bored could probably be something that helps them go against expectations, because you do at a certain point, you do sit back and start thinking like, all right, there's nothing going on here. But if you stick with it, and I did, because I'm just one of those people like, all right, I got to see where this is going, even though it ain't going nowhere right now. I got to see what they can do. I have to see if they really going to do this for the next hour and 40 minutes. So if you kind of just looking back and forth, something will catch you at the corner of your eye where you'll be like, okay, did I just see what I think I saw? Did I see a chair on the roof? So again, they keep things in shadow.
Yeah.
So you're looking at the floor, again, thinking like nothing's going on, and then they'll cut when you least expect it, and then you'll see this, and then you will sit back, first of all, and say, is that a chair on the ceiling? Because you can't really tell. And then when you can tell it's a chair, it's like, okay, well, yeah, of course, that's kind of freaky. And then things start getting even weirder. Things start getting erratic with the parents. You start getting these freaky images. There's hints of violence. Probably violence towards the kids. We don't know. Whatever this voice is, whatever this thing is, it is making some really crazy. At first it's saying, hey, come in this room. Hey, holler at me up here. Hey, come here. Come around this corner. Let me tell you something real quick. And then it just starts making like real sinister requests for these kids. So that it does get freakier, man. And the house gets freakier as it goes along. Things, as furniture starts getting rearranged, things popping up where they shouldn't pop up, doors popping in and out. It gets wild. Parts of the house get crazier than the others. Kitchen is probably the most terrifying part of the house. Can't make no HelloFresh in there. It's too dark. The stove keeps popping off and on, man. You can't make no food with it.
It's 1995.
It's 1995. And even if they did deliver, you ain't got no stove, so the refrigerator ain't working, so the food just rotten. But hey, you know what? If your house is not possessed by some demonic portal dimension, then you can go in and make HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
Well, all right, no.
And I know, I might not believe in making resolutions, but some people said I have made a promise to myself that this year I'm going to eat so much better. I'm going to start taking care of myself. And if you did make that promise to yourself, you want to break it, HelloFresh is here to help. They have 40 weekly recipes to choose from. Healthy recipes on top of that. They have a lot of things, but if you're trying to eat healthy, they got that for you. HelloFresh is going to help you save some money. How are they going to do that? Well, I mean, hey, look, if you're not eating out all the time, not doing takeout, not doing delivery. This will save you a lot of time, and time is money, and it's cheaper than going to a grocery store. They also have a lot of fast and quick, easy meals to make. Fast and fresh recipes that take about 15 minutes to make, all with quality ingredients that taste great also. Now I'm talking about you're making things like falafel power bowls, seared steak and potatoes, a hearty meal right there.
That sounds delicious.
Oh, they have things like, if you like meat, fine, eat some meat. Get a whole meat dish. You like veggies? Get a vegetarian dish. Vegan, they got you. Hey, and listen, a lot of people gonna be having Super Bowl parties. You had holiday parties. Hey, whatever event that you're having, don't think that HelloFresh can't help you, because they got snacks that you can get, desserts. They even got recipes that you can make with your kids. So listen, a lot of benefits to having HelloFresh. Biggest benefit that I'm gonna give you right now is that I can get you 65% off your first order of HelloFresh, plus free shipping. All you got to do is go to HelloFresh.com/doubletoasted65. Use the code doubletoasted65 to get 65% off plus free shipping. I want to thank America's #1 meal kit, HelloFresh, for sponsoring this portion of the show, and thank you for all of your support. Now, here's the thing with this movie, man. I'm sitting up here sounding like I'm dogging on it. I'm making fun of it. I mean, listen, it's hard not to do so when 90% of your movie is like carpet and ceilings and corners. I mean, that's different. I mean, but it's also an hour and 40 minutes of that will test anybody. Now, I think it's a cool concept. It's a very cool concept. Imagine you're in your home. What is supposed to be your sanctuary, your safe spot. And even in your own home, you can't get out. It's all kind of new places that you never saw before. And all those places look scary because it's all dark and there's faces hiding behind there and you don't know what's going on. Now that's as an adult. Now imagine you're a kid where the world is already scary because it's so big. I mean, kids are scared of their own house. But imagine being a toddler, waking up in the middle of the night and walking around and seeing things that you never recognize, and there's voices talking about, "Hey man, come here." That's terrifying. And the concept, the thought of this is very frightening. Yeah, it's from the point of view, and that's why they shoot it in all these ways where you can't, you're looking at the ceiling or everything is low eye level. I get it because it's supposed to be from the point of view of a kid.
Okay.
And like I said, man, I got a lot of respect for this, man. This was shot in the director's home, I believe, with their kids. So they're using limited space, needless to say, limited budget. And they're just, they're using what they have. I have to say if it might not, I don't know about an hour and 40 minutes, but they're using their spaces effectively here. Yeah. They're using it for a low budget film. They're doing what a low budget film's supposed to do. Use what you got. Your cheap ass scary house, but that's the thing, man. It's an experimental film. There's nothing mainstream about it. They never tried to sell it as mainstream. They never tried to tell you it's going to be the next Paranormal Activity or anything like that. Even the trailer just said, "In this house." And that's what you got. You were in this house. Maybe a little too long for me, but I respect this, man. Cool techniques for this film. The film grade. Look, when I thought that this was... When I started watching this, I thought I had the wrong movie. Right. Because it looks like a movie, not even from 1995. It looks like a movie from the 70s.
Yeah. 1973.
Yeah. And it does not look like there's a filter on here. It looks like that is the actual film grade. I was like, wow, I don't know how they did this, but maybe they used like 16 millimeter film or something to do it. And I didn't get a chance to really look at this because I just decided to watch this right before the show. I'm really curious about the behind the scenes of this to see how they made it. Because I remember just reading about it leading up to it. Yeah. And listen, when I was reading about it, I think this was making the festival route. So everybody was talking about how this was so unnerving. This is one of the most frightening horror movies that they've seen in years. And when you're at a film festival, people think, well, that's what I'm supposed to say. Yeah. But maybe they really did feel that way. But I hate to keep coming back to this. It's an experimental film that should probably be, for me, should probably be a short film. An hour and 40 minutes of, again, looking at dark corners and looking at the floor and looking at a wall and lingering on that, that's a little bit too much for me.
It didn't feel like it was building.
No, because it would build to something, and it would get, as I say, would get freakier.
Yeah.
I mean, there are moments where things were like, the thing that works with this movie is you don't know what's happening. And that's probably the biggest weapon this movie has. You don't know why certain things are happening the way they are. You don't even know what's happening with this kid. This kid might have just busted his head and now he might be dreaming, or he might just be kind of knocked out. Who knows what's going on here? But, there's things that are happening that don't explain, images that are just there that you can barely see. They don't bother to explain. For me, that's a scary thing when you don't bother to tell anybody what's happening. Leave it up to your imagination. But I don't think that this merits an hour and 40 minutes. It really does slip into boredom. You get those moments where something kind of creepy will happen. Something mysterious will happen and your mind will start playing with you. But then after they do that, we're going back to just staring at the wall again, looking at the paint, looking down at the floor for about, a minute or two. That's not sustainable for me. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm trying to keep an open mind, but looking at a wall for a minute, and I'm talking about for a minute.
Yeah.
While somebody's on phone trying to order from Domino's, I'm not. That was an endurance test for me. I respect this. It does work effectively in parts, but and the movie did what it. Listen, the movie achieved. It went out there. It got people talking. It scared some people. It was on Shudder. It's on Amazon. So it succeeded. You get all the images without the payoff.
No.
If you ask me, maybe I've seen so much horror. It's not anything that scares me. A damn Barbie doll glued by the head to the ceiling right here. That's not scary to me.
Right.
And the things that do happen that are scary, well, we just have these lapses where I'm thrown back into boredom. And I think it's counterintuitive to this movie. If you bore me, I'm not scared.
Yeah.
And really, there's a few images in here that made me go, oh, that is scary. And hey, look, at night when I'm here by myself, it might mess with me. It might get into my head. But my feeling while I was watching it was, all right, you know what? I can actually start kind of scrolling through this a little bit, because we got another 40 minutes to go, and I ain't put up a dish. I can sit up here and watch the walls at home, and dim the lights and just stare at the walls here. But that doesn't mean that I don't respect this, man. I just believe that this should have been shortened. But for some people out there, it might be for them.
I come across a lot of movies like that at festivals where I go like, I respect what you've done, and it actually was pretty innovative, but the pacing is killing this.
Yeah,
and it didn't need to be a feature.
I think this will work for some people. That for one thing, ghost and haunted house stuff doesn't scare me all that much anyway. So that probably is my bias kicking in right here. But, for other people out there, who knows, man, it might work for you, because it is something that can get under, get in your head and get under your skin. It is something that is very creepy. And when it gets in your head, you're going to start just trying to figure out things on your own. Those things are going to be frightening enough. I liked the Blair Witch Project when it came out, but the Blair Witch Project had a whole marketing, thing behind it, and was kind of the first movie to do what it did. There's things that really made it work. This doesn't have the benefit of having that kind of surprise, of making people think like, oh, is this really happening here? It's this is not that kind of movie. This is really going. I could see this playing at a museum or an art house somewhere. But hey, unique approach to horror. I can definitely say I've never seen anything like it before. Well, I'm looking at the walls right now. Yeah. I say it every day.
Well, it sounds so Paranormal Activity-ish.
It kind of is in a way. It really is. It does. It has it's a cross between Blair Witch and Paranormal Activity. More emphasis on Paranormal Activity, and so like I said, I think I would have liked this better if this had been like 40 minutes instead of having a whole hour attached to it. I mean, they would have been able to like really build, and kind of escalate things. But that's me thinking that's the way the pacing should be. What they did here is probably what they meant to do exactly. I would tell you though, I would tell you the scariest part of this movie to me. This is what scared the shit out of me the most. It was right at near the end of the movie. I mean, we got like a minute and a half to go, and there's just this image on the screen, and it's just there, and I'm just looking at it, and of course you just the screen's looking at you, and you look at the screen, and somebody's waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
And then my door just slammed. And I was like, shit! My air conditioner came on. And the door was like closed just enough to where the air sucked the door. And I jumped. My own house came in and said, boo! That was, my house was the scariest part of this movie right here, man. Right.
So not this house, but in this house.
This house. This house. In this house. It scared the shit out of me. And I said, and I looked at the movie and I said, don't you think you get credit for that? That was not you. That was my house.
It was your house looking at you going like, I can't believe he's still watching this. Watch this.
Yeah. That was not your house. That was my house that did that. So I would give this a high rental, man. Like I said, it's a lot of admiration for what they're doing. And I think, you know what? I think that if you're looking for something different and hard, this deserves to be seen. And it's a good thing I'm giving this a high rental because this can be seen on streaming right now. So check it out. I mean, if you don't like it, you can cut off at any time and I wouldn't blame you. Tested me. Like I said, it's more out of admiration than I am giving it for actual, pacing or anything else. But yeah, it's a very respectful high rental.
All right,
we'll see. But don't be surprised. You don't have to sit there and try to watch this whole thing now. I'm just telling you, it's what you see here. There's only slightly more. It ain't going anywhere real exciting. But a lot of respect for it.